So she always getting hollered at. So she goes to Walmart. Somebody's like, hey, you got a boyfriend or something like that? And I think she called me. She's like, hey, I was at Walmart and somebody said,
somebody asked me, was I taken? And I was like, I didn't know what to tell them.
Yeah.
And he was like, you should have told them, yeah. And I was like,
and that was it.
Okay.
And y'all been together ever since.
And that was January 31st, 2011.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. We've been together. We got engaged a year later. And then we got married a year later.
Wow. Welcome to the Heart Helper Podcast, a spiritual space where we share extraordinary stories from everyday, ordinary people, because we truly believe that inspiration is far greater than influence. Hi guys, welcome back to the Heart Helper Podcast, your favorite mind, body, and soul podcast. I am your host, Jody Smith, and today we are talking about love because we know that God is love and love is God, and we have an amazing couple here today. They actually recently started their own podcast called King Meets Queen. Today we have Ifie and Xavier Brandon.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Heart Helper Podcast.
Thank you. Thanks
for having us.
Yes. Well, first and foremost, y'all are beautiful.
Thank you.
It's the glow for me. It's giving happy. It's giving, listen, we want to be together. And I can't wait to hear all about your story.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. So first and foremost, how did you guys meet?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, we're going to tag team?
Yeah, I'm going to let you start.
Okay. So let's see. We met 2010. We both had graduated college in 2010. And I was going to a church called Destiny Metro at the time. And Destiny Metro had a spoken word and hip hop ministry where they would put on like spoken word hip hop shows. There would be like some skits and stuff. And the whole point was to just like tell stories and then, win people for God. And just also like just share the journey of like where we are as Christians and how we go through different things. So at the time I had just started doing spoken word poetry. And the church didn't mind if other people who didn't attend the church join the ministry. Mm-hmm. So there were people from outside of the church who would come join the ministry. So I tried out for the team and then he tried out for the team. We did not know each other. And then they ended up putting us together a few times to do poems. So
together?
Yes, together.
Ooh,
so one of the things that they did was they would like group people together to do like group poems. And they grouped me, him, and a girl named Ebony together to do this poem. And so we had to spend a lot of time together practicing. And it was kind of the three of us that would spend a lot of time together. And then eventually me and him would spend more time together, talking on the phone for hours. But we were actually friends for like, I don't know, was it like 6 months, 8 months?
Yeah, it was. I think we definitely made sure that we were friends. Only, I think because we were both in spaces where we weren't looking for a companion, love, or anything. I think we were focused on our relationship with God.
Yep.
And because of that, we were very honest and real, transparent. And I think that's kind of built like the foundation of our friendship and our relationship is like, I'm going to tell her anything. She going to tell me anything. And I'm not sitting here worried about her feelings and how it's coming off because she's my friend.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I think that's kind of like what meshed us together. And I remember this is when Facebook Messenger was popping and stuff like that. So she had got on Facebook Messenger and I just was like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? And I think she took a long time to respond. And I was such in a place of like,
so crazy.
I'm broken. I don't know if I'm a good human being because I had just got a relationship with my ex from college who I thought I was going to marry this girl and stuff. So at this time, I'm like, I'm rebuilding. I don't really care.
Yeah.
And I was going to New Birth at the time where Bishop Eddie Long was pastoring. And he was on this whole wave of like not having casual friendships, not having casual friends. So
being intentional?
Being intentional. So I told her, I said, hey, I don't do service relationships. Either you tell me everything now or we don't have anything else we need to talk about.
Which I thought was crazy.
Wait, tell you everything is what? Like,
so
all
when
her
he,
business? Or?
so yeah, so when he asked me like how I was doing that day, and I don't even remember what I was going through
She said, okay.
at the time.
This is what she said. I said, hey, how you doing? She was like, I'm okay. I said, why just okay? And then that's when I immediately said, hey.
Yeah, like, he's like, basically, don't give me no surface BS, like, answer. Like,
I want to know
either you tell me what's actually going on. I don't do surface relationships. And at the time, I was so taken aback because, first of all,
how dare you?
Yes. And we hadn't known each other. I think we had known each other for, like, a few months at that time.
Yeah, but we
so I was just like, why would you
Why you want to know my
say
business?
that?
I didn't even know you like that.
But honestly, I told him. Like,
really?
Like, I let my guard down, was like, okay. And I told him, and we had great conversation. Was that the night we got on Skype?
Yeah.
We got on Skype. That's how you know
this
how.
is way
That's how you know
back.
how old it is. We got on Skype and we were talking, and this is his favorite part. He was saying things that I had never heard anybody say, and I will say, like, he was on his way to seminary at that time too, so he was just really like in a spiritually mature place.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying stuff to me that I just had never heard a man say or anybody say.
Like, as far as like spirituality.
Yeah, just like life advice, mindset. Like, I just hadn't been around people who thought in that way before. And so I was like taking notes.
Wow.
Like, as he was talking, like, he was just saying stuff that was like, oh, this is good. Like, this is actually stuff I can apply to my life.
That can help me.
Yes. And so that was kind of the beginning of our friendship. And then, people would be like, so are y'all gonna get together? Or, and we'd be like, no, we're just friends.
Y'all were so close.
Yes.
I think maybe people were probably able to see the chemistry.
Yes.
Yeah.
We couldn't see it though.
Yeah.
I could even see the chemistry, not even, I've never met your husband before.
Right.
Of course, you and I have. But I could see, like, you guys genuinely, like, love each other. Like, there's definitely, like, something there.
That's so interesting.
I can feel it.
That's when people say
that.
that.
God, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
That's a beautiful thing, because
It
I've
is.
been around some couples. I'm like, y'all are making me uncomfortable. I don't even want to be here.
Like, y'all don't even like
is this,
each other.
is this couples night, or I'm going to go ahead and be out. But with you guys, it feels like, I do believe that God puts us together.
Yeah.
I really believe that God has someone for each and every one of us. Like, God knows what we want, but of course, God also knows what we need. And maybe at that time, God was like,
I mean, absolutely. Like, and like he said, we were in different places. I mean, we were in the same place as far as like not really wanting relationships. Like, I had dated all types of different guys, and it was just not working. No, I felt like, I think I was getting to the point where I wanted something real and deep, and I think guys just wanted the surface stuff, or they just wanted sex or whatever. And I had gotten to the point where I was like, I'm not doing that. I even gotten to the point where I was like, I'm not having sex with anybody that's not my husband. Like, I was just so focused on me, God, loving myself, growing. And so I think he was kind of in a similar place. So yeah, I think we connected. We were doing poetry together. We were talking all the time. Our conversations would be hours and hours on the phone.
Wow, just natural.
Yeah, just like, and I remember he came over to my house. I was living at home at the time. And my mom was like, who is that? I was like, oh, that's my best friend. And she looked at me like, best friend? I ain't never seen this man today.
Okay. And we know we got foreign parents, so already the side eye is like.
Literally. She was like, what best friend is this? I've never seen this guy. But yeah, we were good friends. And then his birthday came around. He was turning 22. I think this was 2011. We were very young. I was 21 at the time. I think I had just turned 21. He was turning 22. He had a birthday dinner. And so before his birthday dinner, me and him went to the movies just as friends. We were like, we're best friends. We're going to go to the movies. And we went to see the movie. What's the movie called? No Strings Attached.
I don't think I've seen that one. Who's in that?
So what's his name?
His name, Ashton
Kutcher.
Okay. And the girl that passed away, was it Brittany Murphy?
No, not.
Oh no, not that one.
Okay.
But I know what movie you're talking about.
She plays, and she's Thor's girlfriend in the.
I don't remember her name.
Charlize Theron, is it?
Now
I gotta go back and watch.
No, it's not Kirsten Dunst. Anyway, Ashton Kutcher. It's called No Strings Attached, and the whole basis of the movie is like they meet, kind of our story. Yeah. They meet, they're friends, they're cool. They had like a friends with benefits thing going on. And I don't want to spoil the movie for you, but it ends up turning into something else. And at the end of the movie, I was like,
Is this the one?
Am I like missing? Because there was a theme in the movie where she was like missing out on something good because she was afraid to like be vulnerable and like she had been hurt, she had her guard up. And so at the end of the movie, I was just like, is this me? Am I missing out? It was almost like a veil was like taken off.
Like you were in that space at that time? Like,
I think so. I think that I had been so comfortable. I mean, at the time that I met him, I probably was only single for like a year and a half, but I was so focused on me. Like I did not care about having a relationship and I didn't really want to take chances. I wasn't in the mood. Like I was just like, I'm good. I
didn't want to be with nobody.
No, I'm fine.
And that's a blessed place to be in.
Yeah, it was nice because it's not like you're chasing after something. You're not like desperate. Yeah. So after that movie, I felt completely different. Like I had all these emotions going on. I don't think, did you feel anything or you were kind of just chilling? Yeah.
So you just still looked at her as a friend after that? Like you.
I mean, I had liked, so here's the thing.
Yeah, I was going to say
I liked her and I'm pretty sure that we told each other that we liked each other ahead of time. We already told each other that we liked each other.
So y'all already knew that you guys liked each other, but y'all were friends.
It was like we told each other we liked each other. We had a night where we went out. We spent hours together, told each other that we liked each other, and then literally never said anything after that. Like, kind of just
still
was like, all right,
we're friends.
Yeah, just kept being friends. So I guess, we knew we liked each other, but I was just on some like, yeah, but we're cool. We're friends. Like, I kind of friend zoned him.
She did. And I don't know how detailed.
I know. Our story is
Go ahead.
I'm like, there's so many layers.
But yeah, so she friend zoned me because at the time, at this same church that she was in a small group. The small group leader, she had a crush on, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, on my end, I had a crush on this girl that I went to seminary with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But, and it was cool, but there was something about, what are you going by it today?
Ifie.
Okay.
He called me.
I'm like, what else does she
He has another name by.
Okay.
He has another. So my full name is Xavier and Ifie. So he calls me Ia because that's at the beginning of my name. Ifie is at the end of my name. So he just calls me Ia, but people are always like, who are you talking about?
Right. So Ifie. Okay, cool. So
whichever you prefer.
Whichever you prefer today.
Nobody else calls me that but him though.
So there was something different about Ifie. Like the way our conversations were and how we vibe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there was no shade to the other girl. Like she had everything that I naturally would have wanted. But at that time, it reminded me too much. Like there was an age difference, and it was like she was well put together. She had her stuff going on, and yes, we was in seminary together. But I had thought about my parents. My parents were they're like a 10-year age difference. Mm-hmm. They got divorced. I was like, I don't want to repeat this type of thing, and I could see how it could have gone that way. So I was like, so I focused my attention on Ifie. Anyway, Ifie is having a crush on her small group leader, but I knew that they wasn't going to work out.
Why? How did you know that?
Because I just know, I knew her. Like I knew in the short period of time that we had, like I listened, I pay attention, and I just knew based on how he moved and how she moved, I just didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah.
But instead of me being a hater, you know what I'm saying, and trying to dismantle that whole thing, I was like, nah, I'm giving her advice. I'm like, do what you got to do. Like, I'm here. Like, this is how you should talk to him. This is how you should move, right? Because
and you were giving her advice on
dating. Yeah, because I was playing the long game. I'm like, look.
She going to be my wife.
I didn't know that at the time.
I know what I bring to the table. So when we told each other that we liked each other, I think that was just to clear the air. Yeah. So it's not like you don't know how I feel type of situation.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we get back to my, there's something else that happens in between,
I'll tell that part.
I'll tell that part in between.
So
don't leave out the story.
It's so funny how I'm over here talking about this. I know it's so long. I was talking about the movie and I was like, yeah, I wasn't interested. And then I forgot I had a whole crush on that dude. I did. I had a whole crush on him. So I don't know. You said you moved here 4 years ago. Okay, so you weren't here. So at that time, there was a snowstorm in Atlanta. I know there was 2 big snowstorms, but this was the first one. Mm-hmm. And, we don't really get snow like that. Yeah. So we had small group on a Sunday night in his apartment. It was like 10 of us in there. They're saying it's going to snow. We're like, whatever.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine.
Atlanta, don't take snowstorms serious.
And this one was kind of like, it was ice. There was snow. It was huge. And so we got stuck there. Like we could not, he lived on a slope. We could not get our cars out.
No.
We got stuck there. Mind you, at this point, me and X had been talking every day, I think for the last like 6 months. So we get stuck. I'm at small group. We get stuck at the apartment. I don't call X or text X at all because the small group leader is the guy that I had a crush on.
And you're with him.
Yes.
Stuck.
So I think we were stuck there for like 2 days, maybe.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we had to like walk to Rite Aid and get like underwear and toothbrush and stuff. Like it was crazy. So finally get home a couple days later and I call him and he picks up the phone like, what? Because he knows. He's like, you haven't called me. You haven't texted me. You've been with this dude. Like now you want to call me.
You were salty.
Of course. But here's also the thing. I think that was good for that time because in that time, God was talking to me about her. And he was asking me, he was like, yo, do you want to be with her or do you want to be her friend? And
you have to make a decision.
I made a decision. I said, yo, I want to be her friend. He was like, okay, then be her friend then. Like, don't be sitting there getting upset with her or whatever like that. But my human side of me was like, nah, she trying to play me like I'm dumb. Like, all you got.
I know you were with.
Right, I know you were him. All you got. You done told me you going to smoke. All you got to do is just like check in, just say what's up,
text,
whatever.
nothing.
And so I'm like, this is crazy. But it was like the 2 days went by. She hit me. I was like, yo. And she was like, oh, you mad? And I was like, what you want, man? And she was like, oh, you mad. And I started,
he liked you.
And I started cracking up, right?
And I think I knew too, like, girl, you ain't hit this man up in 2 days.
Yeah, you know
she knew she was messed up. But also during that time, her and him had a conversation about them, and they realized like this isn't it. We wouldn't be good.
He ended up marrying somebody else in the small group, by the way.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then we go back to No Strings Attached.
Yeah.
Light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
I think I'm about to have dinner with me and my friends and stuff like that.
Birthday
Red Lobster.
dinner.
But we get there early. So we walk around and she's like, yo, I think she asked me, how would you feel if I kissed you? Right?
It's the boldness for me.
And I said, oh, I didn't even think that was on the table, but let's just see how.
I didn't even know that was an option.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an option. I said, let's see how this plays out.
Which made me feel so nervous because I'm like, oh my God.
You're bold though. I would be so like.
I know. And I think
what prompted you to do that? Because women typically, like meek spirited, but now a lot of people are like, no, you got to go after what you want. So what prompted you to?
I think it was the movie just had, I had so many emotions. I think the movie literally unlocked, or just, when I say the veil, like it just did something to me where I was like, oh shoot, like
I like this guy.
I think this guy this might be more than I'm thinking. And I just had all these emotions and I don't think I knew what to do with them. And so I think I just felt like I needed to do something. And that's why I was like, well, what would you do if I kissed you? And he was like, I didn't know that was an option.
I said, well, let's see how the rest of the night goes.
Which I'm like, oh God.
And so we go through the rest of the night. I go to Red Lobster. We eat food. We go to this spot called Shout. Now Shout is it's called Five Church. It's on 14th Street and Peachtree in Colony Square. But it used to be called
the restaurant.
Right.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Right?
Yeah.
So it used to be called Shout before
it had like a little club at the top.
There used to be Twist and there used to be Shout. Twist was on one side of Buckhead, Shout was another. So we went to Shout, right? So we partying, we having a good time. I want to set the stage like anybody who knows music, you gotta know like No Hands is out. You know what I'm saying? By
Let away
right. So that's one of our songs. So like this is the type of No Hands is out. We dance, we having a good time, things like that. Afterwards, my car is parked at Parkway Point in Cumberland. So that's where we went to the movies at, Parkway Point. So I'm riding with her. So we drive back to Parkway Point. We get out, we give each other a hug, and then we kiss. Now, here's the thing I want to say about this kiss. This is how this was like a lead indicator where I knew
that she was the one.
She was it. You know how in movies, like they make these like the slow motion stuff happening, like fireworks are going off, and it's just like it real cinematic.
Yeah.
Like I literally felt
That's how
electricity.
that felt.
Really?
Kiss. That's
Like,
how
I'm not
that's how the
like,
kiss felt.
like Doja is laughing right now. I'm not BS. I'm not trying to cap. I'm not trying to
You
like put
felt
extra.
the electricity.
I felt electricity run through my body.
No, the kiss was crazy.
You know
and
what I'm
that's
saying?
how you knew.
And that's how I was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely felt like
And
so
it-
you never felt like that before when you kissed somebody.
Never.
And we both felt it.
Yeah. And I think that was like one of the indicators where I was like, okay,
This is
she it. You know what I'm saying? And so my birthday was on the 22nd.
Yep.
I think we spent, I think the next week, I remember we went to Houston's on, is it Powers Ferry? Paces Ferry?
Sure, babe.
The one off of Windy Hill.
I know.
Okay.
It doesn't
So Houston's not there no more. And this is my first time going to Houston. I went to my church and then I drove. My church is in Lithonia. And I drove all the way to Smyrna because she had something at her church, whatever like that. So I
I
went.
don't remember any of
I
this.
drove. I remember I had a suit on. I drove to Destiny, picked her up. Then we went to go eat at Houston's. And that was like another moment of just like, okay, we was like debriefing about like what happened and everything like that. And she went to Walmart one day and some dude, as always, wherever she go out, somebody trying to holler at her. It doesn't matter.
Period.
Right?
Not true.
And I
Do you
don't
see the material?
exactly. And that's why I don't get upset about it, right? So
Stop.
she always getting hollered at. So she goes to Walmart. Somebody's like, hey, you got a boyfriend or something like that? And I think she called me. She's like, hey, I was at Walmart and somebody said,
Somebody
if I had
asked
a
me,
boy-
was I taken?
Was I taken?
And I was
So
like, I
what's
didn't know what
up?
to tell them.
Yeah.
And he
I
was
said-
like, you should have told them, yeah. And I was like,
and that was it.
okay.
And y'all been together ever since.
And that was January 31st, 2011.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. We've been together. We got engaged a year later. And
March
then we got
2012,
married a year later.
Wow.
May 17th.
Yeah.
And 2 kids later.
2 kids.
Do you
Two
think
kids.
that I always, when I talk to married people, they're like, you just know when you know. Do you guys think you know when you know?
I actually think so. I think you do know, even if you're like afraid or even
Yeah.
if you're not sure. Like, I do think there was a part of me that knew he was different.
Yeah.
I knew that he
From
like,
that first conversation.
yeah, like I knew he was different. I remember telling a friend, who was the friend who actually made me try out for the spoken word ministry. I remember telling her like, oh man, this guy is cool. He likes to travel, but I could be myself around him. Like there was just something different. Like our relationship was just different. And I think for me, because I was in this journey of like, I had dated all these guys and like, there was just so much. I don't know that I thought that this could be it for me. Like, I think I was kind of just like, I don't know. But I knew he was different. And I knew there was a possibility. Like, he had everything.
Yeah.
Like, there were little things that I prayed about. Like, I remember before I met him, I went to a Lauryn Hill concert and they played some music and I was dancing. And I remember it being in the moment like, Lord, I want my husband to be able to dance and like dance with me. And that's one of our favorite things to do together. Like,
So
there
the
was little
littlest-
things.
I would want to make sure we touch on this because I do
Yeah.
believe that God answers all of our prayers, no matter how big, no matter how small. Literally,
Yeah.
you could pray something when you're 12 and God
Yep.
might answer it when you're 42.
Yep.
I affirm, like, prayers don't have an expiration date, and God
I love
loves us
that.
so much so that He's like, oh, remember when you asked for that?
Yes.
Remember when you asked for that?
Yes.
You got it.
Yes.
Wow,
And it
that's
was, there
beautiful.
were the little things. Even the conversation we had that one night, the night we told each other that we liked each other, we sat in Centennial Park, which is where he proposed.
Y'all
to-
so romantic.
It was very romantic. We sat and he talked about how he wanted to be a good dad and like just the things that he wanted in life or the things that I wanted in life. Like I feel like everything connected. So I do think that, even if you're afraid or even if
Yeah.
you're not sure, even if you don't think you're worthy, I think
You know.
I think you
There's
know.
a deep knowing.
Yeah.
What about for you, Xavier? Was it like, because I do believe, see, this, hear me out, because
No,
I'm
come on.
single. So, I feel like if I
Hey,
meet
hear me
someone
out.
on Monday,
Right.
like, you should know if you love me at least by Thursday.
Right. Yeah. So here's what I will say. I don't.
hilarious.
No, I feel you. I don't think it take as
Yeah.
long as
Time.
people.
I don't
that
think
people
so
know.
either.
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
If I don't know how funky we can make it.
Go ahead
but
and make it fun.
I feel like I'm trying to watch my words.
Okay.
Uh,
You don't know with him. He be
I think that people know, but like you said, they be afraid,
Yeah.
or they may not have everything together,
Mhm.
or they are trying to convince themselves to do this so they don't get hurt.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of self-preservation, but I think men know and women know. You You know what I'm
I
saying?
think so,
and I think
too.
it don't take as long as you think it takes. I think that but you gotta choose. I think that's the other thing though. You gotta choose to go with what you know.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of times you might miss out on opportunities. You might miss out on your blessing because you chose wrongly. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Like J. Cole said, choose wisely.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like you gotta choose to be where I had to choose to be with her over the other girl. I had to choose
And
to be with
vice
her.
versa.
Right. I had to
Yeah.
choose to be with her
Yeah.
over my ex. I had to choose to be with her. I still gotta choose to be with her even now.
Every day.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's a choice. And so
Really good point.
there are times where I think like I knew way before I proposed and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had to get permission from the Lord for me to move forward. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And once
you better, y'all. Did y'all wait? Y'all just hear that? He had to get permission from the Lord. I think that's very, very, very important. When I joined the Nation of Islam back in the day,
Okay.
you know, I've been, you know, on my journey. But one thing that my leader said, she was like, when they date in the Nation of Islam, you kind of have to get permission to date that person. You can't go on dates by yourself. But she said that her husband tried to talk to her, and she's like, "Don't come back until you talk to the Lord about me." And she said that he came back a couple of days later, and he was like, "God told me that you are my person. You have to talk to God first,
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
because you have to, like you said, you have to pick the right person."
Yeah.
And I know me personally, I have picked the wrong people in the past,
Yeah.
and now I look back, I'm like, what was I thinking? But I
Yeah.
didn't know God.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
didn't know the character traits that I should have been looking for in a man, because I honestly didn't know the character traits of God. So
Yeah.
I was trying to bring God to people that, you know, didn't have a relationship with God either. So I picked
Yeah.
the wrong people.
And that makes sense to what your statement was off camera.
Yeah.
I get it now.
Yeah.
So
was
I
hard.
also wanted to say, when you said that, like you had to choose, because I feel like when I was saying that, I talked to my friend and I was like, oh, this guy is this, but I can be myself around X. The other guy had all these great things. Like he had a great job. He loved to travel. There was all these other things that I felt like were the great aspects of what I wanted in a partner. But when it came to me being able to be myself, when it came to me being able to be authentic and have a like strong friendship, I didn't have that with him. And so sometimes we will choose, because I love to travel. I want somebody with a good job. Like all those things felt like the things, but it wasn't good enough. Like it wasn't the right thing, if
Something
that makes
was
sense.
missing.
Yeah.
And this is actually good, Todd. I'm glad you talked about this. I'm like, I didn't even think about going in this route. But I think there are times where things look good on paper.
Right. That's what I'm saying, basically.
And they don't be good for you. You know, it's like, I remember there was a girl I was in love with in high school. I mean, adored. Like, you know what I'm saying? Would do anything for her, whatever like that. Right. And I remember I prayed. I went to church. I'm like, Lord,
This is
Lord,
the one.
come on, God. Like, you know, I've been wanting her since middle school. Lord, come on. And I remember the preacher, Carolyn Showell. I still remember it. I'm sitting up at the top of the balcony of the church, and she said, you be praying to God about stuff, and sometimes God's answer is no. It's no. No matter what you might, it be no.
Yeah.
And I had to, as much as I tried to fight it,
It was no.
It was no. You know what I mean? And so it's like,
That's so hard.
It's so hard because like on paper, and this don't just apply to relationships. This applies to jobs. It applies to friendships.
Yeah.
It applies to careers. It's like sometimes I had a situation where this is after we were married. I needed a job. You know what I'm saying? So I went to go try to work at Chick-fil-A. All right. I went to Chick-fil-A. Corporate Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to be in the IT department, all that stuff. Went to Chick-fil-A, made it through all the interviews until the third one. Got to the third interview. This dude decides he wants to be a minister. So now we got minister versus minister. And so we talking about God, relationships and stuff like that. And he's like, you know what? I think God got something better for you.
Ooh.
He's like, yo, you this ain't what you want.
Yeah.
He said, you don't have to do this.
You don't have to do this. He was like,
leave here
right,
now.
right.
Get out.
He's like, you don't have to do it because you're gonna have to compromise a lot of who you are, and I feel like what God wants you to be. This ain't it. It was so hard because we needed money.
Yeah, and you technically wanted the job.
Yeah, I was like, I'll do it. I have a computer science degree.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. If
I get free, try it out first.
It's Chick-fil-A. Like, how bad can Chick-fil-A be? If I get some free I'm a fat person too.
Listen,
like,
if I
get some free Chick-fil-A gift cards and stuff like that, give me some nuggets. I don't care.
That's it.
Yeah,
he was
but
like,
it wasn't
no.
it.
I was
God
like,
got something better for you.
It wasn't it.
It was. I think it was like 2 maybe 3 weeks after that interview of the man telling me no, a friend who went to Destiny, who was in Destinations with us, called Ifie and said, "Hey, Larry Tinsley at V103 has an opening. I know X wants to be in radio. He got to work on Sundays, but you know, he got to do Monday through Friday and he got to do all day Sundays, but it's a way in. Do he want it?"
Yeah.
I was going to go see Captain Marvel. I was literally about to walk out of our apartment
I remember.
on Campbell's Road, and if he stopped me and said, "Hey, Danielle called. Do you want?" I said, "Yes." It's a way in. I've been at V103 ever since. That's 2019. But if had I made the wrong choice, or if I tried to fight going to Chick-fil-A, or if I had tried to fight being with these,
you would have settled.
I would have settled, and I may not have had what God
wanted
for
have,
me. So I think it's all about choice. Like some people be knowing, like, yo, that's her or that's him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But our
You might
fear,
choose the other thing.
yeah,
our pride,
our ego. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is beautiful, though. Not only like not settling for, of course, a Chick-fil-A job, but just in relationships in life. Sometimes even God's no is a blessing.
Yeah.
And I know for me personally, if I'm being honest, I forget that. Like the closed door is a blessing. Even the hurt is a gift because God's like, I know what I planned for you.
Yeah.
I already have it prepared for you and I'm just preparing it for you.
And also,
but if we settle for, you know, what our flesh wants, God's like, all right, if that's what you want, I'm gonna let you have it.
Because God is like, not only do I know the plans, I know what you want too.
Yeah.
I know the things that you've prayed, right? You prayed that you wanted a man who can dance with you. You prayed that you wanted this. You prayed that you wanted that. That person is not that. Even if you think it is, or even if you think you can mold them into this, and even if you're thinking like, oh, I guess I could just sacrifice the dancing thing. It's like, no, like you said, this is what you want.
And I got it coming.
I got it coming.
And I think too, it goes back to like surrendering and letting go of your identity, or like you guys said, what looks good on paper. Because a lot of times people that look good on paper can be held behind doors.
Yeah.
I've experienced that.
Absolutely.
Literally have experienced that, but letting go of your identity so you could take on God's identity, I think that's the season that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
Even the simple things from quitting my job to start my own business to even combing out my locks. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to be so caught on the things that I'm usually attached to.
Yeah.
Created me something new.
Yeah.
How do you want me to look?
Created
what
me
business
something
do you
new.
want me to have? And it's like letting go of those things that made me comfortable.
Yeah.
Now I'm in a season of such discomfort. I'm just like,
when you said that, I was like, this
it hurts.
I said, you got to be careful what you pray for, though.
Yeah.
You just said creating me something new.
New.
I said, oh, I don't know why that just hit my spirit. I'm like,
cause I repeated it when she said it. I'm like, yeah, that's.
I'm like, you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want him to create you?
But that's the surrender she's saying.
It's
like,
the surrender. Even when you ask me, like, well, how long did it take you to comb your locks? I'm like, 3 days.
Yeah.
But as I was combing it out, I honestly don't feel like it was me. I feel like it was spirit because I wasn't impatient. I was like, oh my God. I literally was just watching my shows and it was nothing to me.
Yeah.
And if I look back, that's something I would have never did because I was so attached to my locks.
Yeah.
I felt like my identity was so wrapped in them. Like, you can tell me I want a Rasta, you know? And I'm Jamaican. Like that was my thing.
Yeah.
But God said no.
Yeah.
And I literally, it was the spirit just like, let's see what this next chapter is going to look like. And it's just really that surrender so you could be created into what God calls you to be. And I'm still working on it because I think, and y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, because I think when you get into a relationship, you do have to surrender a part of yourself.
Yeah.
So you can become a whole with that person.
I feel like you have to be willing to let go of certain things. Changing some areas, like it's like a meshing. Yeah, it's like two worlds coming together. So there are going to be some things that have to shift or sacrifice for you to work. Like I think that's just naturally, even in love. I mean, you have a child. Like even when you have a children, it's sacrifice. Like like certain things got to change. Like this is who I am, but if I want to be the best steward to my kids, like certain things got to shift a little bit. Yeah. I think it's the same in relationships.
And I love that you guys said one thing that you guys mentioned, and I want to go back to is like him, like, nah, I don't want no surface level conversation. And I think we live in such a surface level generation. So it's like, okay, she looks good. He looks good. He has money. So, okay, we could be together. But even now, it's like people think they talk to you if they send you a message on Instagram or they text you all day. No, pick up the phone. Yeah. Get to know me. And I think that's something that we're missing. And in our generation is that human connection and that vulnerability. How did you guys really get vulnerable with one another. I know that's something that I'm working on because I don't like to be vulnerable. So if someone would have told me that, like, nah, how was your day for? I'd be like, excuse me, sir. But in order, I think, to have something meaningful and purposeful, we have to shed the layers. I got to tell you what's troubling me, or I got to tell you about my day. I have to tell you about my dreams in order for us to really deeply connect.
Yeah. And I think it's hard. And I don't know if you're like this. When was your birthday? When's your birthday?
July 16th. I'm a Cancer.
Okay.
I'm a Cancer.
Okay. I don't know why I get Taurus vibes from you. But I was going to say, like, I have had a hard time trusting people. I still, sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
And so I think one of the things is, like, you do have to kind of trust. Like, I had to trust him with all, because I think whatever I was going through was probably some indecision. It was probably me trying to figure out my life. I had just graduated college. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I had to trust him with that information, all of that like instability. I had to trust him with that. And I feel like him creating the space to say, I'm not doing surface, like, I want to hear, that was kind of an invitation for me to be like, all right,
you felt safe.
Yeah, like, okay. And of course I've met him, and I got good vibes from him and all that good stuff. But, like, I think we just spent a lot of time creating space for each other and not judging. Like, I didn't feel judged. I mean, I felt like yourself. I could be myself. I feel like he had good intentions. And the stuff that he would say was helpful. I think we spent a lot of time talking. And that, what you said about the texting, I was like, man.
You're about to text me, good morning, beautiful, all day.
All day? No. What you doing all day?
Hey, queen, no, blocked, no.
Grand Rising,
no,
queen.
Grand Rising, no. It's an automatic no for me. No, I'm not doing it. It's a no.
I think that we kind of were, what's the word that I'm trying to find? It was like a good thing that we did not have. I mean, we had cell phones, but I think that we had, what was it, BlackBerry back then?
I used to love my BlackBerry.
We were not texting like that. Yeah. We were on the phone, or we were on Skype. Like, that was before FaceTime. We connected all the time, and I'm grateful for that because we just spent a lot of time getting to know each other, the little things. Like, you think about talking to somebody for hours.
Man,
like, we were talking about everything and anything. Like, what we like, what we don't like, where we're from. Like,
we were talking when we wasn't supposed to be talking. Like, I'm supposed to be studying for my exams, and I'm sitting here talking to her. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, I think a lot of it came from just being honest.
Yeah.
And being straight up. Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, I got to give it up to the spirit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And what God had placed me. If I wasn't listening to Bishop Long at the time, and I wasn't in Newburgh, like, I wouldn't have had this type of bravado in my faith, I think, you know what I'm saying? And so when it came down to that, because I never heard anybody talk about not having service relationships and stuff. And I took that and I owned it, and I believed it, and I ran with it, and I applied it. Yeah. And so everybody around me knew that I was the transparent one, I was the honest one, I was the bold one. I'm gonna say what needs to be said if you don't like it or not, you know. And I think that I expected that in my friendships as well. And so with her, I was always like an open book. There was nothing I felt ashamed of or anything I needed to hide. And so I think creating that space, one of the things that I remember that she used to always say, which made me feel so good, is that she felt like I could be home with you. Like, I felt like I feel at home and safe here. You know what I'm saying?
She used to tell you that.
Yeah. And I think that was something good.
That's how you knew that was your man, girl. You know that you knew that was your
man. And one of the greatest compliments she ever gave me was that she said, I feel the presence of God when I'm around you, and
I don't remember. Okay. I was doing a lot.
No, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm trying to say that because like, that's what you desire. Like when you in somebody's presence, or when you trying to get to know a person, you want to feel like they can be genuine home. Yeah. Because when you home with a person, you can let your hair down. You ain't got to sit there and worry about the judgment and things like that.
You don't have to perform.
You don't exactly, and that's what
the biggest thing. You don't have to perform.
That's it.
And that's what I wanted to create for her, and that's what I want to create for myself. Yeah. Like, so some of the things that she used to this is the flip side of like the compliment, right? Is that she used to be like, yo, you give all this, you so loud and rambunctious, all this energy you get at everybody else, but when you come home, I don't get that. I get the shit. And for me, it goes out of perform. Like, out there, I feel I gotta perform. I ain't gotta perform home. Like,
I just want to chill.
When I come home, I could just lead a performance.
Yeah.
I could just
I could be myself.
I could be myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get the side of me that they don't get.
Yeah.
You know, and so yeah, I think it works both ways, but I think you gotta choose to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, I always say that.
I think that's one of the biggest thing in our generation is choose to be vulnerable. Even looking at like the things people post on social media, it's always like, oh, everything's great. Like, but people are not going to tell you when they're depressed.
Yeah.
People are not going to tell you when they're battling. But it's really those situations, those human experiences that really connect us.
Yeah.
Instagram is a highlight reel.
Yeah, it's not a real world.
Yeah,
that's I'm like, it is not. You talking to me on Instagram is we did not talk. We don't know each other.
Yeah,
you don't know me. It's not a real place. And I think that vulnerability is what our generation is lacking because we can't deeply connect because we're connecting on surface level things. So marriages are not lasting. Relationships are not lasting, especially in the Black community. Less and less of us are getting married, and God created marriage. Like, I feel like our lives could be more abundant if we actually surrender to the Spirit and actually find the right person, choose the right person so we could build.
I think too, there's this thing of grace that I'm thinking about because I'm thinking about how one of the reasons why I trusted him, even there was a time where I told him like a really big secret, I think, and I was like, don't judge me. He was like, why would I judge you? Like, there was so much grace and there was so much there was no judgment. Like, I feel like there was no judgment in the things. And I think that also helped me. It was like it was peeling back layers. I think over time, little by little, I was able to say, I got this thing I need to say. And he's like, okay, cool. And, there was no judgment. Like, we gave each other grace. We were both young. So I think maybe we had that in our favor too, because both of us, I had a job, he had a job, but we weren't making a whole lot of money. Like, I was still living at home with my parents. Yeah, we were growing up together, learning together, building our faith together. I think all of these things kind of work together to give us what we had. We were both very deep in our faith. We both had friend groups that were deep in our faith. So we were around people who also had that same vibe. So I think that helped us. I think being young, not having as much social media helped us.
Child, take it away.
Honestly, we just lived in a different time. And I feel like we benefited from that, to be honest. I think it's harder dating now.
It is. It is. And one thing that you said is giving people grace. Like, I know for sure I do not give men grace.
Okay.
Why not?
I'm praying on it. And that's why I said I'm in the season of dating. God,
we're work in progress.
We're work in progress. It's just like one little thing. So, gosh. Okay. So let me tell y'all. So I gave my number out the other day. Met this man, Jamaican restaurant. We're vibing, whatever. Never even got to the point to get to a date. Because when he calls me, it comes up as a woman's name. I'm like, is he married? And I told my friend, I was like, it's going to be a no for me.
From that? Just from that?
I know. Pray for me. Pray for me.
You didn't ask no questions.
God's still working on me.
Yeah, God's still working. I was like, who is that? I'm like, I hope this man does not have no wife calling me from his, because I'm like, why is your number in some, and you're grown. Like, he's like maybe 45.
Was it the same last name?
I think that was his wife. I do.
Really?
I do.
It could have been.
But you know what? The problem is you might not be wrong. Yeah. There's so much of that. You actually could be right. I think it's just funny that you were like, I'm not asking no questions. I don't care.
No questions.
I want a man with his name.
Every other day. And I'm like, I thought he would have stopped calling by now, but I got to.
He don't even know.
He don't even know.
Yeah.
He don't even know. We'll never talk.
But here's the thing.
We'll never talk.
When there were certain things that we were okay with when we were younger.
Yeah,
that I think as you get older, you're not okay with. And maybe that's the problem. Is that you get older and you get set in your ways and you forget, hold up, these are human beings. There was a time where you wasn't all the way together either.
Yes.
There was a time where you didn't always have everything ducks in a row and stuff like that. And there was a time where you just wanted somebody to love you for you.
Yeah.
But if you don't give yourself the opportunity to experience that because you looking at your list or whatever your priorities are, and he don't check the scroll and he don't check out everything. And it's again, we talked about before, even if you had that thing on paper that looked right, that don't mean that it's right for you.
That's true.
And I'd say this.
Grace.
Yeah, I say this all the time, that love and hurt are two sides of the same coin. You can't get one without the other.
Yeah, it's gonna come.
Yeah, and so one of the things I think that allowed us, I know you didn't ask us this, but I'm gonna put it out there. I think one of the things that allowed us to continue to stay is that we were willing to do the work. We are willing to do the work past the hurt. No, we in couples therapy every Friday at 5:00 p.m.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
important. Yeah.
We now it ain't always been that way. We just had to get back on it, but there were some things that we had to work out, and we are still working out to help us to keep, doing the work and keep choosing each other, even in the times where you want to leave, or I can't stand you, or you get on my nerves, because that's going to happen in a relationship. But I think that you don't get to the longevity part if you're not willing to, 1, give grace, 2, do the work, but 3, see the other person like as a human, not as an object of obtainment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think Nipsey Hussle said it is like, in love, you have to experience the person instead of trying to possess them. And a lot of times if you're trying to possess, like, this is mine, or this is how I want the relationship to go, and this is what I want it to look like, you're holding on so tight that you're suffocating the person. Or in that book, I think it's called The Mastery of Love by Paulo Coelho, Cohello. I'll put it in the chat. But he says it's like, when you're in love or dating someone, sometimes we're so big on giving that person, like all of us, our star and our happiness. So this person's trying to hold up their happiness because you don't have enough happiness of your own to make yourself happy. And it's too heavy of a burden for someone else to bear. So now I'm holding up your happiness, forgetting about my own. And when I let your happiness down, now you don't want to be in a relationship with me no more. And that's why I'm
talking right now.
Listen, and I'm trying to understand and work those things out, even off camera. When I was telling you guys, like, I'm trying to learn the character traits of God. So when I do love one of his sons, I know to give his son grace. I know how to, be a loving and supporting wife. Because when I read about even the Israelites, how they complain, well, I don't want to go to promised land. Well, when I was in slavery, at least I knew I had some food. But understanding, like, we're human, we're going to complain. God's trying to get us somewhere, but it's going to be a struggle trying to get that person to the other side because we're human.
Yeah.
And I am just trying to study God and learn the word. So the word's not just on me, but it's in me. Because you could have knowledge, but if I'm not applying it, I'm not going to be a good wife. I'm not going to be a good mom. I'm not going to be a good friend. So I'm working on the grace, y'all.
And what's so beautiful about what you just said? You studying God, you studying God's word, you listening to the Spirit. X always says you have to practice doing the things that you want to do in marriage. So like if a man says, oh, I'm gonna be faithful once I get married, but you're not practicing faithfulness now, you got 3, 4, 5 girls right now, how you think you're gonna get married and just all of a sudden you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be faithful? No, you have to practice it. And so with you saying I'm studying God, I feel like God is going to continue to guide you in those moments. It's almost like you're implanting seeds inside yourself so that when you need that guidance, when you are married, when you're in a relationship, it's already going to be there. It's like an intrinsic guidance. Like the Spirit is going to give you what you need to give that person grace, or to say what you need to say, or to fall back when you need to fall back. Like the work you're doing now,
I feel like God's preparing me.
Yes, you are planting the seeds.
Yeah, I definitely feel like God's preparing me because the Jody that I am now, look back, I'm like, I don't even know who that girl is. Like, people tag you in Facebook pictures or Instagram. Untag me, unhinge me.
That is a different girl.
That's a whole different person. And I'm thankful that God took the time to mold me and he's shaping me like clay. And like I said, it's just surrender. Yeah. So I'm working on the grace part.
Yeah, it's coming.
I want to go back to I love when we do have men on the podcast. Doja's the person I always talk to, but I'm like, we gotta have some more male guests. He's like, no, I think you're doing good with it. No, we need more male guests. We need more male perspective. I don't want this to be like a female-led podcast because I think it's important for women to understand men too.
Yep.
And Xavier, when it came to you being able to be vulnerable, how did she create a safe space for you? So we know that you created a safe space for her. Like, hey, I don't want no surface level friendships, relationships. You gonna tell me what's going on? And I want to ask this because I always see it like with my brother or my cousins, and it's like we had suffered a very great loss. One of my cousins, the day I moved here, he was murdered by his girlfriend. And I seen my cousins and my brother just really go through a depression. And I'm like, hey, I always come up, brother, what you doing? How you doing? And men are always like, I got to be the strong person. But I do love that you mentioned that he made you feel like home. And I'm working on trying to be a safe space and a home for the men in my life, not just romantic.
Beautiful,
but how did she create that safe space for you? And 2, how can women create a safe space for men?
Great question.
Great question. where's my camera? Right here.
Talk to the camera. Let us know.
I think one of the things that Ifie did that was really helpful was that she asked me questions and she listened. You know, I remember Erykah Badu said on, I believe it was the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne asked her, like, what is it? Why all these men just be
in love
with you? And she said, because I listen to them. I just listen, you know? And I think that I don't think that we understand how powerful and valuable that is just to listen without clapping back, without flipping the tables, without reversing it and making it something about you. Like, if I'm sharing something, whether it's something that bothers me or something that's a triumph, like listening and cheering me on, and I think that was really helpful. I think also at the time, one of the things I always said about her was that this was kind of like the icing on the cake, or the thing that sealed the deal, was that she was willing to be my friend. And I needed a friend. I didn't need a girlfriend at the time. I needed a friend, somebody who I could be my 100% self with, who I can talk to, who I can laugh with, who I can joke with, you know. And she was willing to be that. You know, I think, you know, I remember I was living on Cheshire Bridge right down the street from Onyx, and I was
Onyx was a time back then.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so I was down the street from Onyx. I was in my apartment, and I think I was breaking down over something, and I was like, yo, I just don't feel like I'm a good person. Like, I don't know if I'm a good friend. I don't know if anybody will want to be, let alone be my wife. I don't know if anybody want to be my friend. Yeah. And she looked at me and she said, I'll be your friend. And that simple thing, right? It might be.
I think I said I will always be your friend, right?
Okay, I will always be.
No, I'm just saying, because I think in the moment it was just like I'll always be. With you. You know,
and I think that's
beautiful.
Yeah, and
that's
it like beautiful. that simple phrase or that simple sentiment of empathy and being there and seeing me in my most lowest state in my mind, and being able to say, yo, I will still be here for you. I will still love you. I will still stand by your side. I think that is what makes men want to feel like, okay, that
I can connect with this.
I can connect and I can be safe. And I think that a lot of times, at least what I'm seeing based on the internet, and I know it's not a real place, but I think what people do is they take what's on the internet and they apply it, and then it makes a whole culture around it, is that women tend to see men as commodities, as like a bankroll, or, you know, what can you do for me, or what have you done for me lately? Versus, I'm talking those. He said, yo, preaching. But they don't see us as human beings who have feelings too. And the reason why we're hard is because we grew up in a world, in a space that doesn't allow us to be vulnerable and soft. You know what I'm saying? We're judged by how hard and how violent or how much we can endure. But there's a lot of trauma and stuff that we are,
and what you can provide,
and what we can provide. You know, and at the moment that we can't provide something,
it's like you're not a man.
I'm not a man. I'm not valued anymore. And my value isn't based on that. My value is based on whatever God called and created me to be.
Absolutely.
You know, and so I think those are things that women can do. Like, just listen. You know, think about, you know, apply the golden rule: do unto others as you would want done unto you. You know, if you don't want a man to treat you this way, then don't treat him this way. You know, if you want someone who you feel like you can laugh with, like, crack a joke. Go sit in, you know, he might be in the sports, he might be in the like I'm in the superheroes, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the music. Like, vibe with me on that level. Meet me where I'm at, and I'll meet you where you are as well. And I think that if you can create friendship, like true, authentic friendship, not because I want something out of you, not I'm going to be your friend because I want to get with you. Like, just be my friend.
That's it.
And I promise you, that man will ride for you. He will die for you. He will protect you. He will bring you the world if you could just make him your friend. You know, and I think for your brothers too, is like, you know, just listen to them, you know what I mean? Or send them something that reminds them that you're thinking about them, that they like and they enjoy, you know. The power of presence, something I learned in seminary. Like, there's so much power in presence. You can say stuff so much, but if you would just be there with them in the midst of their pit of despair or whatever like that, and It's like,
It goes
yo,
a long way.
it goes a long way.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, this is for anybody. I gotta give credit to Ifie because she wrote this in her Substack. You should go watch her listen to her Substack, read her Substack.
We're gonna put that in the podcast description.
It's called Smoke Break.
Yes.
But she wrote about how marriage is not like the pinnacle. I think a lot of people think that marriage solves your problems.
Yeah.
Or you'll be happier.
be happier.
It.
Yeah.
Listen, zoom in when I say, hey,
Make a clip out of this.
it does not solve your problems. If anything, it only highlights and exasperates what's already there. For instance, I thought I was God's gift to every woman. Like, you get me, this is creme de la creme. I slowly realized how selfish I was. And it's only going to hold a mirror up and show you how selfish you really are. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're
Hold up.
if you're a crappy individual,
Yeah.
will you get married?
It's just gonna
You'll be
highlight
crappier.
it.
You're
It's just
gonna
gonna highlight it.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just
like,
gonna highlight
it's
it.
It's not the pinnacle. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, once I get married, then I finally found my worth, or I finally have arrived. You know, that's why Paul says, yo, I'd hope that you be single, you enjoy yourself, because when you are married, now you got to deal with the world and you got to deal with this other person. Like, you know, be grateful for where you are.
Yeah, because singleness is also a blessing.
It is a blessing.
Because you could connect with God.
Yeah, and you can have fun and not have to worry about checking in with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, do you
can go to Africa if you want to and not tell us so.
Hello, you can just disappear and then reappear, and
Yeah.
nobody's gonna say anything. You know,
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is, like, some of us, I know I did. I thought, like, oh, now that I'm married, you know, and because church don't do a good job at this, like it promotes marriages if it's like the greatest thing in the world. And I'm not saying it's not. I love being married and stuff like that. But once you get married, I still got problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still, if I ain't dealt with my lust issue, I still got a lust issue in marriage.
Yeah.
If I ain't dealt with my pride, I still got pride in marriage. I
Yeah.
still have all these things that I gotta now work through.
And now I'm connected to another person. So at first it was just you having the pride and the whatever. Now you connected to another person. And so how you go about life, your pride, your lust, now it's affecting someone else.
Yeah.
Like it almost, like you said, highlights like who you are in the areas in which you need to grow because it's affecting someone else. It's like your mirror.
And that's why I think when you are single, that's the time for you to really do the work and identify if you're selfish, if you're lustful, if you're gluttonous, if you don't have like financial constraints. You have to be a good steward of yourself. And that's why sometimes it is a blessing to be single. It literally is a blessing to be single. Identify what you like. Identify what you don't like about yourself. And one thing I've been praying for is like, God, created me a clean heart and convict me where you see fit. If I don't move about things the right way, convict me and I will change it and I will become better. But you have to ask God for that, because sometimes we think that we're right in our ways.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh no, I'm doing things right. And then you get, like you said, you get with someone else and it's like, hey, you kind of selfish, or hey, you don't manage money properly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So I think that's important. Use your time of singleness to tap in and lock in and date God.
Yeah.
While you're not dating someone else, date God. Date God and date yourself.
Yes.
Date yourself.
Yes. Love yourself.
Yeah.
Have a good time. Build friendships.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes, like, I don't know if people value as much as we should, like, have friendships, spend time with your family.
Yeah.
Like, there's other ways to experience love. And I'm not saying don't desire marriage, because I think it's fine to desire marriage. But until it's like, there's other ways to experience those connections and that love that you want to experience, like, until you get to a place. Yeah.
And I feel like when you're not looking, that's when it finds you.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I've met people and they're like, well, I just thought I'd be married by now. Or I really want to be married. And it's like you're focusing so much energy on getting married instead of focusing on your purpose or whatever it is that, because I feel like when you get so busy in your purpose, God's just going to have that person come around to you. But I love that you guys mentioned friendship, because we always like to rush into stuff. Like this microwave generation, we want things fast.
Yeah.
But if you get into it, I feel like too fast, it won't last.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like our friendship is such a huge part of our relationship. Like, we were truly friends. Like, we were for real friends. And I think even now, I mean, we're still friends. Like, we have the marriage part. We're parents as well. So we have, now we do our podcast together, but we still friends. Like I called him the other day. What I said, babe, let me tell you. You was like, oh, you got tea. I said, let me tell you. I don't even remember what it was about, but I was like, I need to
laugh with each other.
Oh yeah, like I'm like we can laugh. We laugh all the time. I send him memes. Like we're watching a TV show together. We are truly like friends. I think friendship is like the base.
Foundation.
Yes,
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
I want to take it to God because I know we're all spiritual beings having a human experience, and of course on this podcast we love the Lord. Okay, we believe in Jesus Christ here. Okay, in this house we praise the Lord, like my mom would say. But what do you think? Like, of course, God is the foundation as well. But how important is God being in your marriage? And how do you guys incorporate God into your marriage?
It's so funny when you sent us some questions, just some topics and stuff, and I saw a question about spirituality. We were going to record a podcast on Friday about God in our relationships. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is so timely.
See, God's right on time.
Right. And we actually didn't get to record that because our son got sick and we had to have him at home. So this was just such a perfect timing. I think for me, first of all, we met each other because we were on a spiritual journey, I feel like, and we both were following I think just what we felt like God was leading us to at the time. We met in church, so I think obviously that was like a big part of our relationship. But I think for me, I'll just speak on me and I'll let you share yours. I feel like for me, when you talked about conviction and just also being led by the Spirit, I feel like that is the sole thing that has kept us together, but also thriving in our relationship. Like, I need God to lead me. I need God to be with me. I need to be able to hear God say like, don't do that. Not right now. Like I need God to not only guide my life, but to help me be a good partner and a good steward of my marriage and my relationship and my friendship. Like I need to be led. But also one of the things that we learned about ourselves is when we touch and agree on something and we pray, we literally can do anything. We can do anything. We can conquer anything. We can get through anything. Like we literally have times where we'll not be on the same page and we'll be like, all right, we need to pray. Like we need to pray together. And then
I love that.
We'll say, he'll be like, all right, what you hear? And I'll be like, all right, what you hear? And like, we'll hopefully like we've heard the same thing. There's times when we don't hear the same things. We gotta be like, all right, well, we got somebody was distracted or whatever the case is.
Let's step away and see what God says.
But like if we're ever stuck and we don't know what to do, we always come back to like, all right, we need to pray. Like, what's God saying? What does God want for us? I feel like that's like our North Star.
Facts. I mean, I think we're in an interesting time in our life and in our marriage where the conventional things that one would say should be the thing that you can tell a person has a relationship with God or is not in the picture, right?
Like
so
church.
we don't have a church home. We not in Bible study. We don't have a cloud of witnesses just around. Like that's just not how our lifestyle is set up right now. Not because of like we done reconstructed and we got a problem with the church. We have those things and we can talk about those on a different topic. But right now, like we're not doing the things that the stereotypical Christian would give you advice on how to do to make things work.
Yeah.
We have a real relationship with the Lord. That he walks with us and he guides us.
And that's the most important.
Yeah, and he's so enrooted in our very being that there are times where scripture just comes up or is embedded in our heart. So it's like, when we out of pocket with each other, we know we got to go and pray. Yeah. And like she's prophetic. I can tap in, as well, but that's her number one. So it's like when we hear, it's like that's like she said, like, yes, when two or three are gathered, he's sure to be in the midst. But truly, like when we are locked in, we're in sync.
Yeah.
And that's how we know, like, things, and even like how we're trying to raise our children and move and navigate. Like my daughter's dealing with friendship issues and I'm trying to speak into her through like, well, this is how I feel like mommy and daddy now have to navigate friendship. This is what you do these based on these principles. This is why we live. When she's having an issue, I'm like, hey, let's pray right now.
Yeah.
Let's talk. So I think God is I try to always say like God needs to be at the center of our relationship, not to be the top priority. But when he's in the center, everything revolves around him like the sun, on the planet. So we're not perfect. We have our flaws, of course, and we all strive to live to be more like Jesus every day and be a good representative of him. So I think it's critical. I don't know how marriages or relationships last without him. Just be straight up. Like if you're not led by the Spirit, I don't know. Years 2 through 5 for us were the worst years of our marriage. 3 whole years.
Why is that? Is it because during those years you're trying to figure each other out?
No, we had a situation. So we had an affair situation that happened, and we had to work through that because it was bad. Like we had a situation and we had to figure it out, and we had to choose to still be together. Yeah. Because it would have been easy for us to be like, you know what? An affair is a great reason to break up, right? Like,
see, y'all are just, I don't know what's to come from me because y'all are just like convicting me like, choose grace, understanding, accountability. Goodness, God, okay,
prepare me, oh Lord.
No, but in the midst, I mean, we're on year 12 now, so we can look back and be like, oh, years 2 through 5. But in the midst of it,
it's rough.
It was rough. Rough ain't even the word. We literally had to decide, like, do I want to be with you? And then we had to, so it took like how long did it take to decide? 6 months to a year to decide. Then once we decided, we had to do the work to get to a better place. I won't say back. I think we had to find a new normal for us.
You don't go back after that.
Yeah, I think we had to find who we are now.
How did you create, like what steps, someone watching this that might have gone through something similar, what steps could they take to heal their marriage again?
So, so first of all, we went to therapy. Which was super helpful. And I think therapy is not just to make it through. It's to find out what happened. It's to find out, why did this happen? What was going on? What do you want? What do you want? What did you want that made you do this? Like, it was a whole thing of uncovering, and like me learning that at that point, we were married and I had a child and I was pregnant with our second child. Like, there was so much back to back, and I think I was in a place of like, who am I? Right? Like, I'm a wife.
After you have a kid, listen.
What?
It's like, wait a second, who's this human?
Yes.
My body looks like this. Yes. My emotions are everywhere. Yes. I don't want to have relations. I don't even know if I want to be a parent or a wife or a girlfriend right now.
I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. Also, it's like you're still, I was young at the time. I think it was 24, 25. So I'm like, also just trying to be a person in the world. Like, who do I want to be? What do I want my career to be? So we went to therapy to kind of help uncover a lot of those things and to figure things out. Therapy was one. God and prayer, I feel like he could probably speak to, because I feel like you talk about how you had to decide, like, because you didn't want to be in the marriage anymore. No. And I think maybe there was a point where I didn't either, but we had to pray about forgiveness, and we had to set our pride to the side, because again, it would have been easy to be like, I'm out.
That's the easy route out.
I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop you.
No, I'll let you go.
You in a pocket.
Tag team.
Right. You go.
I think that yes. This is when I say, like, you got to have a relationship with the Lord. I don't know how you do it. Like, I wasn't saying that, of course, to expose what I've been. I was just saying it to say, like, I literally had to hear the Lord say, stay. Multiple times. I had to hear the Lord say no. The Lord told me, I remember the Lord, I think we was living in your parents' house. This was during pandemic too. We? I'm pretty sure.
No.
Okay. No. We were just over their house.
Yeah.
I remember we was over their house.
We're at their house, yeah.
At their house, and the Lord told me to read Habakkuk. So everybody talks about, was it Hosea? I think it was Hosea. Yeah, I think it was Hosea. Hosea's the whole book is about Israel cheating. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
going back and being with this wife.
And being with his wife. I'm saying, and the Lord saying, yo, read this and you gotta do this and blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? I'm like, nah.
I know you lying. I know
the Lord.
God ain't say that.
Literally.
The Lord was like, look. For the first time ever I heard it, I said, he was like, yeah, you staying and it's going to get worse before it get better.
Yeah, that was the worst part.
That's the first time I ever prayed and I didn't get up feeling better about about what, but he was like, yo, nah, it's gonna get worse before it get better. There were times where we was at it was New Year's Eve, man. We went to one of our friends, she's a prophet, she had like this prophecy thing. So we out there, going, and people are prophesying over us left and right. Oh, y'all, this hip hop couple, y'all gonna do these great things. The world's gonna be. We sitting there in the car, going and leaving, cussing each other. I don't like you. I don't want to be.
I think even our outfits were matching or something. They were like, y'all look giving king and queen. We sitting there like,
y'all like,
I don't like
this exactly. Person. And here's the thing, like, forgiveness sounds good, in theory. It's a whole lot harder in practice.
Yeah.
And so you have to practice how to forgive. You got to practice how to let go. You got to practice how to trust each other. The same offense that may have happened, you got to trust your spouse to go do it again.
Yeah.
And not, do it again.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And so it's like, you got to loosen control.
Yeah.
And I think that's some of the things
the part is letting that goes back to what Nipsey Hussle said, is not trying to possess but trying to experience.
Yeah, and those are the things that I feel like we had to do. I remember one time we had a conversation at her parents' house on the couch where we just said we forgive each other, and we listed all the things all the offenses we did to each other, and just said, well, I forgive you for this, I forgive you for this, I forgive you for this. And it was like,
it was powerful.
That was powerful. And that was kind of like those moments where I could see like the boat starting to shift into our favor. And I think you got to have those honest and real conversations. And again, you got to listen.
Yeah.
We listen and we don't judge. Like, you got to apply that. You got to literally apply that, and I think that's how you if you do the work, if you choose to forgive, and if you choose to love, and if you choose to see. I had to remember, like, this is the girl that was my best friend.
Yeah.
This was the girl who I fell in love with. This was the girl. You lose all that because she the ops now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't even want to be friends anymore.
Yeah, like, you the ops. Like, I don't look at you the same way. But I had to remember, like, there was a time where she wasn't the ops. There was a time where she was my friend.
And she said she'll always be my friend.
Exactly. And I had to remember that. And I think she had to remember some of those things too. So
but I think also just it takes time. I think that's probably the biggest thing, is like, you want to get over it so fast. You want the bad times to just go really quick.
You want to be out of the bad times.
Yes, you don't want to be in it.
I don't want the long suffering.
No. And
skip that part.
And unfortunately, it does take some time to repair when something is broken, when trust is broken, when something happens. It does take time to repair. Now, I'm not saying stay in a relationship when it's like repetitive hurt. Like, this is more so like, okay, it happened. How do we fix it? How do we heal? And how do we move forward better? Like, and it took time. It took a few years. And honestly, after that, I feel like you couldn't tell us nothing, because we've been through it. We chose to stay. And at this point, we like, oh, we can get through anything. Like, we chose to be with each other. Like, we're stronger now, you know? And so I'm not saying like I'm glad it happened, but it happened and we worked through it.
And you guys built from there. And I think going back to what you guys said about keeping God at the center, you were able to make it through that situation because God was at the center. For sure. There are a lot of relationships where God ain't nowhere to be found. God didn't even put the relationship together. For sure. So God can't bless nothing to do with it that you put together yourself.
That's true.
You know, so you're asking God sometimes to bless something that he didn't put together or he didn't even want you to pursue. Yeah. So I love that you guys said that. Keep God at the center. Yeah. Do you think, because I do believe that marriage is purposeful, and I do believe that God does have someone destined and designed for all of us, because sometimes you can't get to that next level until you are with the right partner. What are your thoughts on that? And I think it kind of goes to being equally yoked and like we both have a purpose and God has a mission for us. What do you think about
I 100% agree. I think somebody asked me a long time ago, like she was asking about dating and she was like, do you think opposites attract? And I was like, I think purpose attracts.
Ooh, that's a bar. Good.
I think purpose attracts.
Run that back. That's
okay.
a bar.
Yeah, I think purpose attracts. I think, yes, there's all these other things, you know, you find them attractive. Like there's these things, but I feel like with us, and I think that's one of the other things why people were saying, oh, y'all king and queen, when we don't even like each other at the time. It was like, it wasn't about that. Like about purpose. Our purpose together is still our purpose together, whether y'all like each other or not, whether y'all going through a good time or not. It's like, we know, I think at this point, we know we were together for a reason.
Yeah.
We know that when we, like I said, when we touch and agree, we can do anything. The things that we do together are magical and powerful. And I think it's just because I don't think it's like we're all these great people. It's God put us together.
God put y'all together. That's why I'm like, God, I do not want to be with anyone that you don't want for me. Please make sure that it is the person for me. Because if God didn't put it together, I don't want it.
Yeah,
I don't care who they are, what they like. If God put us together, I feel like you could do anything.
Yeah. Because it's like God sees the two puzzle pieces. It's like, oh, these two go together, and this is what y'all gonna do. You know what I mean? Even if you don't know it when you get together, because when we got together, I don't think we were thinking about purpose. No, you know what I mean? I mean, not for ourselves, but I don't think we were like, oh, this is what we're gonna do together. Like. We just knew that there was something. We got together, and as we've grown, we've seen, okay,
this is why.
Yeah, I think even to be honest, we've been married for 12 years, going on 13. The podcast, King Meets Queen, the podcast,
oh my gosh,
is the manifestation of our purpose together.
That's what I was getting to because I could see that.
But what you don't know,
but there was
Jody. It took so long.
It's just we couldn't figure out out how to work together. No, go ahead. I'm gonna just interject.
No, you gotta go ahead.
We just couldn't figure out how to do. I think one thing about being in a relationship is we are different. I am a planner. I like to plan stuff. I like to have things ahead of time. I like to know what is what. He's just like,
I'm gonna show up.
What's up? Oh, we just gonna do it. Like if somebody came to him today and said like, oh, we need to get this car from Alabama to California tomorrow, he'd be like, all right, we'll figure it out. I'm gonna be like, Google. When does it need to be there? How long? How much money do we have? Like that's me. And he's just kind of like, oh, we just gonna figure it out. Which both things can work together.
Yeah.
Well, the problem was we couldn't figure out how to make those two things work together. It's like when you're different, sometimes you criticize the other person, like, why aren't you like this? You need to plan more. You need to do, and he's like, you need to be more easygoing. When in reality, no, y'all need to work together because both of those things are valuable.
Exactly.
Right?
You guys both have strengths.
We couldn't figure that. Like, I would get upset at him. He would be like, oh, we could not figure it out. We had to grow some more. Like, we couldn't figure out how to do it together. We weren't on the same page.
Yeah. And I think we had already knew like there's something we supposed to do together. Like,
yeah,
God didn't just put us together for no reason, and not to say that our kids aren't good. I mean, for some people, just replicating yourselves is enough. Cool. Yeah. I think for us, we knew like
there was something more.
There's something more, whether it's some type of ministry or some type of thing we were supposed to be doing. And I know we went through like maybe we were gonna do event planning together, or maybe we were gonna start like something that's not a church but kind of like a church or
I'm just
something
saying,
like that.
I can see it.
You know what I mean? So what we did, it was happening so much and for so long. Like one person would be ready to do something, the next person would be ready to do. And so I think this year, I don't know what it was, but eventually,
I think it was growth.
But there was something. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Growth.
You're saying something.
But there was something specific that we saw that was like, you know what?
What was that?
That's I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was, but I remember we watched something or we saw something or we had that, and we was like,
wait, was it when we were doing little videos and people liked them?
Yes.
So I don't even know, probably me, because I'll be on social media like, oh, we should do this challenge or we should do this thing. And I think we did the suspect challenge, and then we did this challenge that was like, I love you, but I don't like it when video, and people just loved it.
Y'all
like
go together.
People just were like, we want more. And I think we were like, all right, maybe we should. Maybe it's time to just do this.
Yeah, because before, in our earlier years, we would do like these we get on Facebook Live together.
Oh, yeah.
And we would just like, we'd bring something up that we would normally have in our conversation. We were like, this would be good for the internet. You know what I'm saying? And people would just be like, yo, y'all need y'all own show. So before that, so then you do the suspect challenge, we do all this stuff, people get attraction. So we was like, all right, I'm already podcasting. So it was like, all right, let's figure it out. We already had the mics. We had to get the stands and stuff like that. We had the camera. We just set up and we finally worked it out and we did it.
But I will say, I think that the reason why I bring up growth is because a lot of times he was ready. he was ready. Like, he was ready. Like I told you, he's that person. He's just like, let's do it tomorrow. And I'm the one that's like, well, how are we doing it? Well, where are we doing it? Well, where's the what's the camera? Well, and I think this time around, I was like, you know what? I don't know everything. I don't know how we gonna execute. I don't know how we gonna put it out. But I'm just gonna say, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And he actually would be the one cutting up the clips, putting them up, doing the promo, making the logo. Like, he was the one doing all of that.
Everything.
I just would show up and do the podcast and
No, sure, yeah. Oh, he over here doing the work. That's all you.
No, but I had to just be like, you know what? I'm instead of trying to control it all, I'm just gonna say, let's just do it. I'm a flow. And I had to grow to that point. I had to grow to being like, all right, I'm gonna just let this happen. Also, I like being behind the scenes. I'm naturally a writer. I like to be in the back. And I had to also like grow in that way where I was like, okay, fine.
Get in front of the camera.
Yes, fine.
And that's the beautiful thing about when you're in a friendship. And we like to use the word partnership a lot. Like, this is my partner.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all those turmoil times of trying to get to this point, I recognize, it works better when she take the lead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make it don't make me less of a man. It don't make me less of a man. Because he says it all the time. But it's true, because like, I am a natural born leader. But I'm adaptable. I can adapt to whatever situation. I'll play whatever position you want me to play. You know what I'm saying?
As long as we win.
And so we can win. That's the goal. Like, I noticed with her, like, she gotta be taking she gotta gear the ship where we need to go. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'll play the background. You tell me what you need me to do. Like, again, she's a planner. I'm an executor.
Yeah.
Like, we recognize
Perfect together.
We recognize that in our relationship and our partnership. So it's like, I'm not tripping about whatever. I can take care of the logos and the branding and the clipping and all that stuff. If you would just agree to do it, that's all I need to do. I'll get the rest, because I don't want to put more burdens on you. I don't want to do that. And when you want more, I'll dish out some more. Until then, just show up and talk. You know what I mean? And so it's been working, and people really, I think it's surprising. I knew we always had something special, but it's been great to see the feedback. And she be able to be like, I can't believe they really like this.
People like this? Like, we're just talking.
But I think it's you guys being your authentic self. People are literally starving for authenticity. Just because we see so many copycats of each other, each podcast, they're talking about the same thing. So when you see people show up in a space and they're themselves, like I was telling you guys off camera, like I told my son, I'm like, I really like how you just like are in every space, you're yourself.
Yeah.
And people appreciate that. People are hungry for that. And I could just the conversation that we're having, I'm like, I know your podcast is going to be successful.
Thank you.
And might I say, hear me out.
Okay.
I could really see you guys doing a ministry of helping people in relationships. And maybe it could be on the podcast. Maybe people are writing in or calling in, or maybe you guys create your own church of some church, because we are the church.
Yeah.
I don't feel like you have to go to church to have church, because sometimes a lot of, that's a whole nother episode of church.
Yeah.
But you are walking churches. But I could definitely see you guys doing something in a relationship ministry, helping singles, married people, divorced people, because in this small amount of time we've talked, you guys have helped me kind of like, okay, let me make sure I work on this. Let me make sure I work on that. I could see that.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, I could definitely see some type of relationship ministry.
And it's so funny because we've talked about these things. I remember when we were living on Campbellton Road, which was 2018, 2017. We lived there for a while, but I remember 2017, 2018, we were having the conversation about doing something like a podcast. And I mean, it's 7-8 years later that we launched it, but we've talked about so many things. And I think it's just been, I won't lie, I've been resistant to stuff. Okay. I'm like, I don't want no church. I don't want this. We got kids. We got a house. We got bills. I'm tired.
We're adults.
Yeah. But I think that there comes a time where you just can't run from stuff anymore. And it's like, okay.
Your abundance is going to be tied to your obedience too. Absolutely. Whatever that is. Yeah. Whatever. I don't know what it looks, but I could sign me up. Okay. Sign me up. I could definitely see it.
Abundance.
What can people expect from the King Meets Queen podcast? I feel like they got a little bit of a taste of your energy, and it was just so refreshing talking to you guys. And I usually like try to have my tablet and plan out. I'm like, no, God, you just flow. And I really feel like God controlled this conversation. It needed to be had. What can they expect from your podcast, and when can they watch it and listen to it?
I know that's right.
Oh, you want me to do it?
I'll go first.
All right. So I think what you can expect from King Meets Queen, the podcast, is just real life conversations. We was having a conversation before because my sister asked, "What y'all doing? Y'all podcast give relationship advice?" And I was like, "Yeah," and she was like, "No, that's not what we do. We don't give relationship advice. We just talk about things that we normally would talk about
But
in
we
the
talk
car,
about
in
things
the
that
bed."
affect our relationship, and we tell our story, and we have the conversations that. Honestly, we have these conversations in our bedroom, in the house, all the time behind camera. We've been having these conversations for years. Like, talking to each other about things is what we do. And all we do is like bring it to the forefront and we just share it with everybody else. And I think the thing is, we're very honest with each other. We're honest about the things. I think on our last episode, we were not feeling each other. Okay. I was upset with him.
Was
and we
it the
talked about
execution?
it. Yes.
Oh gosh, what was the
Effort,
title?
It was
effort. Yeah,
Effort
yeah.
versus-
I
yeah.
saw that.
Yeah, and we had a real conversation about it. And I think at the end of the day, we're two people in a relationship talking about the things that actually affect relationships, our relationship, and I think people can just relate to it.
Yeah.
So I think we'll just do more of that. We want to talk about the things that I feel like people aren't talking about.
You need to.
The little things like the effort versus execution, like
Vulnerability.
vulnerability, like even being parents and partners and what that looks like.
Yeah.
Like there's so many things.
I'm sorry to cut you off,
you're
but
good.
I think one thing I love about you guys is how vulnerable you are.
Mm.
And when people are vulnerable, it, like you mentioned that he made you feel like a home. It's like you could like kind of let your shoulders down. And even in this short amount of time, I'm like,
Yeah, you feel safe, right? Then we did our job.
Yeah.
We did our
It's like an exhale, and we
Yeah.
need that. Like so many people are holding their breath and performing, but you need that exhale moment. But I think the biggest blessing that's going to come to you guys is going to be as a result of your vulnerability. And literally, obedience is going to literally tie you guys into abundance on
Thank
different
you.
platforms, on many more platforms. But you're going to be able to serve and save marriages or singles out of their being prideful and needing to give
Yeah.
people grace. And I think more so than ever, we need marriage. We need more marriages. We need more God-centered relationships, and not just romantic, because life is not always just about marriage and that being the pinnacle. Sometimes you need to have a God-centered relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
So and when can people check out your podcast?
Yeah.
So it's we drop them bi-weekly on Fridays. You can find them on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, pretty much anywhere where you can find DSPs. You can follow us at The King Meets Queen on all social media, TikTok, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe.
Yes.
Drop a comment. If you want us to talk about something, we do have a section in the podcast where we take questions.
Okay.
And so if you have a
Yeah,
question that
please.
you want us to answer, or you got a topic you want us to talk about,
Yeah.
all you got to do is either drop a comment at The King Meets Queen. You can slide in our DMs. You can follow each of us individually, and you can let us know, and we'll talk about it on the show.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
I'll be writing in. And I will also put, of course, all of their information in this podcast description. I want to thank you guys for a beautiful conversation.
Thank you.
The spirit definitely was here. And one thing you guys mentioned, like not being traditional and not going to a church right now and things like that. But you guys are literally a church.
Thank you.
And a lot of times people are like, oh, no, I personally do go to church all the time. I do serve, but I don't feel like, okay, it makes me or breaks me when I don't go to church, because I know I am a walking church, you know? And I don't know what your ministry is going to look like, because we all have it. I don't know if y'all going to get a building, if it's going to be in your living room, but I definitely see you guys being a blessing to other people struggling in relationships, or not even relationships don't always have to be a struggle.
Yeah.
It's we could
It's
take
just
our relationship to
navigating.
the next height and navigating that space. I see
Yeah.
that for you. For sure. So it's been a blessing. And
Thank you.
every person that sits on these couches, I always have to ask. So I'll start with you. I'm going to start the statement
Okay.
and you have to finish it.
Okay.
All right. First one is I am,
Loving,
I can,
believe,
I will.
obey. Oh.
Ooh, obey, obey, obey. That's the season. Love is,
God.
God is.
Love.
You, Xavier, I
Okay.
can,
Conquer.
I am,
Amazing.
I will.
Thrive.
Love is,
Everything.
and God is.
Love.
Amen. Amen.
That's
Y'all, this
good.
was Ifie and Xavier Brandon from the King Meets Queen podcast. Be sure to listen, like, share, and subscribe to their podcast because we support one another. And I hope this conversation really blessed you. I know for sure it blessed me. All of their information will be in the podcast description. And if you have not learned anything from today's episode, please be vulnerable. For one, give people grace and keep God at the center of every relationship that you're in, including the one with yourself. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all of the things, but listen, like, share, and subscribe. This is the Heart Helper Podcast.
Yeah,
We
love
did
it.